Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Footy Kismat. For Game Week 5 review, we are joined by two guests. One is a regular on our channel, Arsenal fan Gautam Rao, and joining us today is the special one, not Jose Mourinho, but Himanshu Hans from Delhi, who does not believe in supporting one club. Hey guys,
Hey Sandy,
Hey, hey, hey.
hello. Champions League is back. So for Arsenal fan,
And
that
you-
means
and
we
and
will.
and Europa League as well.
and Europa also for Arsenal.
Yeah, Europa for Arsenal.
Now Arsenal is regular in Europa only.
Yes. Okay, game week 5. So let's jump into Jordan Pickford and Everton. So you must have seen it was a rash challenge, horrible challenge, and offside or not, I feel he should have been sent off. Everton did get the rub of the green on the decisions, and for a change, Liverpool did not get any of the decisions, and it was a draw.
On the balance of play, draw was a fair result. I think maybe Liverpool got a few decisions, incorrect decisions go there against them. But overall, balance of play, I think it was a fair result, I have to say. Red card, obviously, Pickford had to be sent off. But if you listen to the ref, what he has said, he saw the incident, he let it go. So that's something you cannot punish retrospectively as well now.
Yeah.
So absolutely agree that it was a red card, but I think result was fair enough.
Okay.
I think in war he only checked for the offside, right? Not for the red flag.
Yes. I war. They only
Probably
check
he
for the
missed
offside.
out that was a red card.
They've said that they did not miss it out. They did not think it was a red card incident, so they did not get it checked.
Hmm.
Strange, but yeah, that is the official statement that
Yeah.
has come out.
Yeah, he came full pelt. I think it was a clear red
So,
card, but
so what I was saying, basically, finally we have seen a war is against Liverpool now. One red card
had
and
to
one goal not given, right?
had
Even
to happen someday.
Mane was not offside in the last moment, right?
Yeah.
The
It
third goal.
was it was close. It was close. Could have gone either ways. Yeah,
oh, is it? Was it? I didn't see that. Was
but
it that
with
close? Generally, offside are like clear cut, right?
yeah.
Even it's like, oh, okay.
Again,
From the analysis, I can see it was not offside, right? It was clearly onside.
no, it was
Marginally,
marginally off. Marginally off, yeah. Elbow. Liverpool gets hit by an elbow again.
Mane's elbow doesn't count.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, coming to the question that you had, Van Dijk's injury would be a problem for Liverpool. They have struggled defensively with Van Dijk in the team. Without Van Dijk, it's a uphill challenge. So this actually blows the title race wide open now, and we
Yeah.
cannot rule out anybody.
but
Yeah.
also with DVD playing, right? They have conceded more number of goals. I think
That's what I
they
said.
have
Yeah,
conceded,
Yeah. Against Villa, Van Dijk was
and
also
it
there.
will
we
go
even
on.
with we would yeah. So
But
they've
So
been
without,
struggling defensively somehow. I don't know why.
yeah, I think it will be a big loss because not only from a defense perspective, I think from a leadership perspective also he's one of the key persons in that team, and probably Klopp relies on him a lot from that perspective. I read somewhere they were not
Uh,
able to sleep, so I think there's no.
yeah, such news do come out, in case of injury. Remember the Suarez incident? They came out with t-shirts supporting Suarez as if he was dead.
Mhm.
So yeah, these things do happen. But I think it definitely, opens up the title race nicely, that injury. Unfortunate, but
Yeah, good for the league.
nothing can be done.
Yeah, what happened, but good for the league, I guess. Okay, moving on
Definitely
to
good for the league.
City versus Arsenal. Not a very eventful match, I would say, 1-0. But would like to like the question here is regarding Arsenal. I think where we see that Arteta has given some defensive stability where they are not conceding chances. I guess attacking wise, at least in that game, I saw the second half and there were not many clear cut chances. So what can be improved? No transfers as of now. Partey is going to come in. So Gotham, First up, your views on that.
Uh, Attacking wise, yes, there were. I mean, obviously they didn't create much in the City game, but I wouldn't be that bothered because see, City had lots of possession in that game, and if you look at the gameplay, they were pressing very well. They also had a very high number of tackles in the game, tackles and fouls, if you look at it. So they did tactical fouling. That's something Pep is not very proud about, but that's something which his team definitely does. So that tactical fouling element was there. So we were not able to keep hold of the ball for long. And we will not be facing teams like City each time we go to play. So I wouldn't be too bothered about it right now because, we still have Partey coming and he still needs to settle. So attacking wise, I think there are options that we should be able to do. So we're good there. Shouldn't be a problem. But if you look at the positives, away games at Big Six has been a problem and we consider a lot of goals. So definite improvements there. So positives, yes, we have lots of positives. Attacking, I think, yes, we can do better, but I'm okay with it.
I think Arsenal were lucky that KDB was not playing right, and Aguero was also not fully fit. So probably if KDB would have been there, I think the score would have been completely different. They would have
See,
conceded more goals,
I
right?
possible you can say that, but again, see, Partey did not start the game, so I can always counter saying that if Partey had started the game, then maybe the result would have been different. So ifs and
But I
buts.
think City was also lacking the creativity, right? Arsenal always lacked
Uh,
the creativity in the attack, but City was lacking because there was no KDB.
you can say that.
Yeah, that's
He
why I
was
was
a star
saying.
performance throughout the year last time.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
think
can you can say that. You can see, but if you compare it with last year, defensively our shape was much better this year. Okay, so not just the defensive shape, overall pressing, everything was much improved. So there was definite plan and purpose, and by the way, Donetsk have scored against Madrid.
it's that kind of a season.
Uh, so you can say that key players were missing from City. So maybe if they were there, but again, ifs and buts. I wouldn't go too much into that.
So you are okay with 1-0 loss, right?
As a start, yes, but see, these type of games you need to improve in the season. So definitely as a start, yes, but we would like to see more away wins now.
Yeah, I think with defensive stability, it's about
And if you look
improving
at
things.
last
I think
season,
Arsenal were of the mentality that probably just concede one goal and park the bus.
He's prepared some material for Arsenal.
I
I
don't know.
have
I don't know. You'll
I
have to
just
ask
watch,
him.
Sandy. I just keep on watching the big matches. That's it.
Mm.
Okay, big because of City or Arsenal.
See, to being the
You
plan
have to
was
pull
definitely
both the sides, now. Mundu for City and Goti for Arsenal.
Yeah,
plan was definitely to be solid. So you can say that, but I don't think it was to park the bus necessarily.
all right, let's move on to Chelsea. Chelsea 3, Southampton 3. And they have conceded 3 goals at home to Southampton and recently at away to West Brom. And I was going to say, when does Lampard feel the pressure? But yesterday only they kept a clean sheet in Champions League against Sevilla. But will how long does it go on before he starts getting that pressure? Right? I think he's a Chelsea man through and through, so he has that. But knowing how bad Ole gets treated. What about Lampard?
As I was telling throughout and even in the start of the season as well, he's not been a great manager. Okay, so if you just look at the recruitments, assuming those are his recruitments, he might have identified players to be recruited. Doesn't solve his problem from last season. So he's not a great manager per se. Coming to the why is Lampard not being put under so much pressure as let's say Ole or any of the other managers? It's simply because I think because they brought so many players in, people are giving them some time to say that, okay, it's a completely new team, so give them some time to gel. But yeah, see, if these kind of results continue, definitely, Lampard will face the heat. Ole always comes in my mind somehow. Facing the heat has to be
You'll get a chance to talk about Ole. Wait your turn.
By the way, Donetsk
think-
have just scored a second
Oh,
against
okay.
Madrid.
I think Chelsea are also lacking a good leader at the back also. So they
Yeah.
have, I think, focused only on the attacking players this season, and they have bought quite good, impressive players also. So finally, Werner also scored after some blank game weeks, right?
They have Thiago Silva they have brought in, but I don't know what happened to Rudiger. He is German international, and he was a regular, I believe, last season or the season before at least, and he was performing well also. I don't recall him being injured or he's just frozen out, is it?
He is frozen out. He's not injured or something. I think they were looking to transfer him out as well.
Oh, okay.
So he is frozen out. See, again, even with Rudiger in the team, they weren't strong defensively. So it's more to do with the structure and the way they are playing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make a difference who plays there. First of all, that keeper situation is hilarious. You have Peter Cech being named in the 25-man squad for Premier League.
Yeah, that was a prank, I believe. I don't know what happened there.
I mean, how much have they spent in the transfer window? 250 million? Close to 250 million, right?
Yes.
And still name Peter Cech in the squad. Ridiculous. Come on.
You would have done a better job than Kepa. Okay. Right, moving on to Manchester United. So, we had the 4-1 victory over Newcastle, and the general topic was difference that we saw was Mata coming in and the midfield of McTominay and Fred. And then Paris happened yesterday. We won away to PSG, yay! And the same midfield of McTominay and Fred played, and is that the way to go, or should it be a mix and match against the different opposition?
See, Fred and McTominay, I don't think is the way to go. Okay. You had a game against PSG where Fred and McTominay sitting in midfield, protecting the defense is good. But against teams who are not as attacking, you will have to play more attacking football, then that midfield will not work. So it's not a solution that fits all, but is a good option to have, I would say. But I think the overall difference was Mata, I have to say. He played phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that creativity and, ball carrying, everything was there, basically finding players. So something that did not click for United at the start of the season, something which only Bruno used to do possibly till towards the end of last season. This season, even he hasn't been doing much, frankly. And I
think United has to get Pogba and Bruno to click at one time, right? Then only they can think of winning the league.
Winning the league is long way, but
sorry.
yeah, no. So yeah, one side doesn't fit all, and McTominay and Fred in such kind of fixtures where like the pressure will be on United. I think it works because we can break. They help in that, and they protect the defense also better. And when we have Pogba and Bruno, uh, I think it will be just a one-man one-man midfield of Matic maybe or McTominay, and the others have to go into the attack. Playing Pogba alongside McTominay is not hasn't been working well. So I think Pogba has to play up front, in a number 10 or maybe closer to Bruno for it to work.
Which means then you sacrifice on defensive solidarity.
Yeah,
so that is something that will be difficult to maintain that balance.
Mm-hmm. And this season especially, right?
Also was good in the last match also, right?
Yeah.
I was just seeing, I just saw the highlights. He was looking good.
He had a good
In the
I
game.
think
highlights.
yesterday also. Sorry, Gautam.
In the highlights, he had a good game.
Yesterday also I was reading that he had a good game.
Yeah, him and Tuanzebe both had a great game
Mm.
actually. Mbappe didn't even like look like he's one of the highest prospects in the world, kind of like he looked like an average player.
Yeah, keeping the threat of, Mbappe is something that nobody expected Van Bissaka to do. So good. I didn't watch the game yesterday, so I can't comment.
Liar.
But against, no, I did not. I did not.
Okay.
I was watching a movie yesterday.
You don't have to give all details. And hats off, Gautam, for you. You had predicted couple of weeks back or last week maybe that Ole will bring out such results, and he has done in the past. You had predicted that, so big kudos to that.
Hey, ole
Ole.
forever.
All right, finally,
Now give him a new contract.
don't know when his contract ends, so depend on that.
7 years, 7 years.
No, not a Kepa. All right, finally Spurs. So Spurs 3 and West Ham 3. And a couple of stats that we have is like Spurs were up 3-0 within like 16 minutes. That the earliest they have scored 3 goals since like 2007. And West Ham on the opposite side are the first team to avoid defeat in a game, having trailed by 3 goals as late as the 81st minute. So it's basically the game of two halves. People say game of 2 quarters, the first quarter and the last quarter. And so question here would be like because it is like complete Spursiness, you can say. They were completely dominant and somehow they went on to draw, and that too after 81st minutes. It's actually shocking and fun. So how can
I think
Mourinho?
Bale jinxed it.
Yeah.
Quite possible.
So can
But the last goal
Mourinho?
from Lanzini was awesome.
Yeah,
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 that deserved a point.
that
That goal
deserved a
itself
point.
deserved a point.
So from mentality perspective, right? I think Mourinho has bought well. Spurs have bought well, but such results are not expected, especially from a Mourinho team. So, do you think he will be able to take the Spursiness out of Spurs?
Two things. Okay, one is such results do happen. Okay, so I mean, it happened to Spurs. It could happen to anyone tomorrow. So it's got nothing to do with Spursiness. But yeah, taking Spursiness out of the Spurs side is something that I don't think is gonna happen. They have a history of bottling. So this was not even a tournament knockout final or something like that. It was just a Premier League game, which they should have seen it out. So they did not have that additional pressure of having huge crowds behind them. Nothing of that sort. Cruise control 3-0 up and then yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can take out that bottling ability out of them. They can do it from any position. See, if you look at the game, I think attacking wise, again, Spurs were pretty brilliant. Okay, so first 15 minutes they were pretty brilliant. After that, they sort of, took the foot off the pedestal. They were slow. They were in passing in the right areas. They're not trying to find spaces, so they're not doing that. So I think I understand that being 3-0 up, but going from 3-0 to 3-3, that
Yeah.
is something I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. That was not
I think
expected.
they were just. I think they were just unlucky. I think second was a own goal, right? And then just West Ham just keep on pushing them, and they scored the third goal. So I think Tottenham were just unlucky.
3-3.
But it,
3-0, sorry.
3-0. Okay. Showing live match to us. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think Kane, I think, hit the post, and Bale had a great chance, which should have been like a very like a movie kind of start for him. So that didn't happen, and after that they conceded three. So happens, I guess.
See,
That's
I
it
don't
from.
think
Okay.
Spurs. I don't think Spurs will finish in top 4 or 6 this season. They just
Oh,
don't have it.
that's a big claim. I think they have a very strong team.
I
They
think
had
they
strong
they
teams previously as well, so nothing new in that.
but I
See, their
think
best,
Kane and
their
Son partnership is really clicking this season, right? They are scoring good goals.
they are scoring good goals. They have been scoring good goals. See, their best team in decades haven't won a trophy.
True. That is there. That's why the Spursiness title. That's the only title they have won, I guess.
So if I'm saying they'll not finish in the top 4 and maybe even the top 6, could happen.
All right. I think
What are the odds?
enough
Let me go check it
enough
out.
Spurs topic. I think no, I have never seen a video which talks about Spurs so much. All
Hey,
right,
at the
great.
last time I was here, they won. I think that is why I did not want to talk. So next time they lose, bring me on again.